Welcome to my podcast.
This is awesome. The leading second Walk with me
podcast.
Is that what we're calling it? Walk with me?
Let's do it. Walk with me.
Hey, welcome to Walk With Me by Leading Second, hosted by Brandon and Lindsay Stewart. Each one of us needs others to walk alongside of us in life, in leadership, in ministry, story by story, step by step. In this episode, we talk with Larry Brey about walking with mentors, confronting ourselves, and moving with God in every season. Let's take a walk.
Well, leading second, hello. Here we are. We're back.
We're back.
With another podcast.
Yeah.
A different one.
We wanted to start another podcast.
Because why not?
Yeah. I think it's important enough.
We are excited to have you joining us today for our first episode of what we're going to call Walk With Me.
Walk with me.
We are here in Dallas on the Katy Trail. You'll probably hear some background noise coming in. I already hear a plane about to land at Love Field here in a second. But we're out for a walk. And full disclosure, as it goes with us, this is an idea we had last night at 9 o'clock
Last
p.m.
night, on the walk, we decided that this was a really good idea.
To the anxiety of our team.
Right.
So here we go. We just kind of thought maybe we could walk and talk, and maybe we could all do this together.
Yeah.
And have some conversations that would be helpful, more relaxed. And then as it goes, it just so happens, we had no plan here.
Nope. This is the Holy Spirit right here.
Just so happens that Larry Brey was in Dallas. We didn't even know until I saw you on social media. We were all 20 minutes down the road from each other, so we roped Larry into it tonight. So welcome.
we said, Larry, come be our guest.
Yeah, because it was interesting. It was, hey, I want to call you. I got an idea to run by you. But look how much God loves the people of Leading Second.
Come on.
I mean, to create another format.
We've never randomly landed in the same city.
No,
on the same weekend.
I know.
Different churches.
Yeah.
And then we both had an evening off, and
it is really crazy because all of those things going together, pretty wild.
Everybody needs a friend that'll just hear your idea and go, I'm in. Like you can
Let's
be doing
go.
anything tonight, and yet here you are doing this. So welcome, you're our inaugural guest yet again.
Come on.
It wouldn't be right to start something without Larry, I feel like. So it's just, I feel like the Lord is in this because Larry's here. So
I need those friends that are like, I'm with you. Now tell me what you're doing.
Let's do it. Yeah.
So here's the premise here. Lindsay and I have great conversations when we're out for a walk. That's when we solve the world's problems.
Yeah.
Yes,
We also
come up with things for Hayden to do.
That's right. We also feel that everyone needs someone to walk with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone needs a mentor, needs a friend. And maybe this space could be that for you, so you don't have to be out for a walk physically. Maybe it's out for a drive, but maybe you could. Maybe you could get on your shoes and join us for some of these episodes. We have no clue when we're going to post them. We have no clue what we're going to talk about. I think we're going to have guests and maybe just talk to people around the country as we travel.
Yeah, we really want to walk with you through the things of life. So we want to talk about what you want to talk about. We want to walk with you through things that you're going through, things that we've been through. I think the idea here is just to walk and talk. So we're not really sure exactly where it's going to go, but we're happy to be here.
So Larry, why is it important that someone would have someone walk with them?
Well, I love the imagery of walk with me. Because I think I tend to lean into places like, wait now, where are we going? What time are we going to get back? Who are we going to see on the way there? And so for me, I'll kind of, it sometimes can be hard for me to start the journey unless I know how it's going to go.
Right.
So the whole idea of let's go for a walk and we'll figure it out as we go. I love that concept, but when it comes down to actually walking it out, that's a little scary for me.
Yeah.
And but I think what a mentor does is they say, let's figure it out together.
Yep.
We don't have to know where it's going to go or how it's going to work out, but let's do this together.
Well, how important to not do something alone, too. I feel like most of the time when I need to kind of get my mind right, or I have a question or have something I'm working through, I go first to praying about it, and then I usually have those people that I can call and say, hey, I need you to talk this through with me, or I need you to walk with me through this. I'm going through this. So
yeah, but let's take a lap together. Let's figure this out together.
So you kind of got the party started here because you started walking.
Yeah, I'm 1 week into walking 45 minutes every day.
You were a walker.
I'm officially a walker.
Yes.
But it was kind of comes out of a place where I need to clear my mind and get some physical activity, enjoy maybe sun, maybe not sun, depending on where I am. But I really needed to kind of get out and move my body and also kind of clear my mind. So that's where the walking started. And yeah.
Larry, have you had someone walk with you in ministry that made a particular impact?
Yeah, I've had a couple people. I go back to early days of faith. I had a mentor. His name was Tim. And Tim was the guy that walked with my wife and I first in marriage. And the first several years were rocky. They were rough. And Tim was our midnight phone call.
Yeah.
He was that, hey, we are so put out with each other. We can't agree on anything and we need to pull somebody else in. And so Tim and his wife, Ruth, were the couple that walked with us for the first couple of years of our marriage.
Yeah.
And without that, I don't know if we would have made it.
Wow.
And they were the ones that pulled me aside and said, hey, Larry, you're an idiot. You need to apologize for that. You guys need to create better boundaries around this. You guys need to actually have the answer for this before you step into that problem, because you keep stepping on the same landmine and you wonder why you're getting blown up.
Yeah.
And without that mentoring in that part of my life, gosh, I was a train wreck, but he helped me be a little less of a train wreck.
Well, one thing I've noticed is how at times God can use the people he sends into our lives to form us, even in ways that we don't realize he is. I truly believe God's already preparing us for what he already has prepared for us. He's getting us ready for his preferred
That's good.
future. And I look back, I think the most significant season of my life was just coming out of Bible school, because I do really feel that God blessed me and blessed Lindsay and I with great mentors. There was a man in our church way back when we were in Bible school that had a traveling ministry, and he traveled and coached pastors in Europe and primarily in England. And he was just a great guy, great family. They welcomed us into their world. Several of us young adults in the Bible school, and several of us took trips over there to help him, just carry a suitcase and be in his airspace. And it was actually on my trip over there, the summer between my 2 years in Bible school, that God spoke to me that one day I would do that I would help pastors. And it was so funny because it was just honestly, it felt like a great thing to do for a summer. There was no intentionality behind the trip, right? It was just, I'm going to go, which by the way, it was the funniest thing. If you talk to anybody in England, they'll remember this. It was 2000 and there was a gas shortage in England. Like the truckers had barricaded and were choking off the supply. But we had to travel hundreds of kilometers over a couple of weeks in a gas shortage. So we would literally, at the end of the message, is not a word of a lie, we would take up gas offerings. Like people would give us their rations. A gas offering.
I'll give you a gallon.
No, teachers would drive us to the petrol station and let us have their ration. Because teachers and essential workers got rations.
Sounds like we're talking about World War II here.
No, this is like 2000 in England.
I'd never heard of this. And I love how you call it petrol. You're definitely we're over there.
Come on. This is shout out
over there.
Shout out to our UK listeners here. Yeah. So, anyways, but it has ended up becoming one of the most formative seasons of my life. But in the time, I was just walking with him. And God used it to prepare.
Did you seek him out, or did he seek you out? How did you actually get connected to this guy?
That's a good question.
Because I think some people would be looking at like, I'd love the idea of walking with somebody, but how would I find that?
Right.
I don't remember, but I remember they were generous and had an open home and had an open life. I do remember that.
Yeah, I think there's different levels of people that walk with you. I feel like, we have some people that we don't even know that we're walking with them because we're watching them from afar and we're learning about them from afar and, gleaning from their life. But then I think I think you need to find those people that are doing what you feel like God's asked you to do. And I've heard it said like it's your responsibility to kind of seek them out, and I don't know if serve them is the right way to put it, but don't put it on them. I feel like you walk up to someone.
What I did. It wasn't. He and I never one time sat down for a mentoring session.
Right. It wasn't like a formal mentoring.
It wasn't like pull out your Bible and go through this book. It was I drove him to SeaTac Airport every time.
Right.
And I had no gas money. He would sometimes, pull over and fill up my car, the intern's car with a little bit of gas.
I'm seeing a theme with the lack of gasoline and petrol in your life here, Brandon. What is this?
I promise you it's a different day today.
If you throw in a potato famine here,
But so I actually do think there's something about just getting in someone's world, especially someone you want to learn from, just naturally get in the world, help them solve a problem, and because you're kind of telling the Lord, I want what's on their life.
Right.
And I think that's okay.
Yeah, I mean.
That's what I did anyways. I've driven Pastor Kevin to the airport more times than I can count, and those were some of the most formative conversations. I remember some of those moments still to this day, but it was just walking together. It was the do life with.
It's not
factor.
It's not the formal we're going to sign a mentoring contract for 12 months and we're going to meet twice a month, and it's what's your life like, and what can I glean from how you're running. And I think that's, I don't know, I mean, in ministry and in leadership, I feel like that's you can tell me what to do, or I can see what you're doing. And I feel like it's a much stronger picture of actually kind of walking with someone and seeing how do they do life.
And I love the way that even you sharing your story, Lindsay, about getting started with walking, because I think we resonated on this whole place of okay, I'm going to create this plan. I'm going to do these 17 things over these 38 weeks.
Well, Lindsay's like an all or nothing person.
Yeah, I tend to be all or nothing.
But there was this simplicity of just starting.
Yeah.
And I think the people listening to the podcast are like, yeah, but I got all these grandiose plans. But just take a lap.
Right, just start. I think starting sometimes is the hardest thing, making that first step, even deciding what is that one thing you're going to do, and then just doing that one thing.
Well, in your journey, Lindsay, you were talking about, I had all these things I could do. Why did you decide to start with walking?
Because I think movement in and of itself just breeds growth. So, I could start with journaling, but that's sitting. And I felt like if anything, I need to move my body, and in turn, it clears my mind. It strengthens my body. But I feel like inherently movement creates growth.
Sorry, we need to turn around. We're getting too far. We honestly have some storm clouds coming in. This podcast may be a rain out by the end. I'm not sure here.
It would be very appropriate if we got rain down.
Right.
But Brandon, you're a voracious walker. You love walking. In full disclosure, if I've got to walk beyond 5 minutes and have to sweat, I'm probably not going to be happy about it.
Well, I'm glad we have you doing this tonight.
Yeah, thanks for joining us tonight.
For me, it's work. On a treadmill, I'll do 30 minutes every day because I'm kind of committed to the discipline. But it's not a delight. It starts as a drudge.
Oh,
but it's become a delight. That's the crazy part.
So, to me, how I heard it described is stress has chemical attributes to it, right? There is things released in your body that need to be burned. And so for me, when I want to think through difficult things, I'll do it when walking, because it's a way of kind of burning off. I'm working through this unpleasant thought. I really don't like what I'm having to think about, but I feel like I'm simultaneously burning it off as we go. So I don't go home heavy from those conversations, if that makes sense.
Makes total
I
sense.
feel like it's just the clearest place I can think. And I mean, I did 11 miles last Friday. Like I will do it for
That sounds like
hours.
punishment.
I did
No.
2.5.
I will.
Just for everyone who doesn't want to do 11. I did 2.5.
I have walked in every major city. I've done ministry and I love it. It is my thing. But I think that it helps me because my personality, I don't want to sit in pain, but I do want to confront it. I want to move through it. I don't want, if I'm dealing with something tough, I want to solve it.
You realize that's not normal. The vast majority of people do not approach that way.
I just want to get through it. But I want to do it healthy. I don't want to.
Yeah. How did you, again, like Lindsay and I look at you like, okay, patron saint of
whatever.
But I aspire to be that. But I think there's a part of like, I'll ignore it, or I'll just eat some Ben and Jerry's ice cream.
Well, so for me, I guess the thing I started asking myself, if I was frustrated, let's say I was frustrated with a team member or frustrated about whatever. For me, my exercise is I go to my moment of frustration in my mind and I ask myself, what am I thinking about this? And I try to identify the lie. What lie am I believing right now? So let's just go really juicy. Let's say I'm frustrated with Pastor Kevin. He made a decision I don't understand, or or let's just go for the jugular. I'll ask myself, what am I believing in this moment? And I'll actually confront my beliefs and I'll remind myself, first of all, God's placed him over this church.
Yep.
And he has God-given authority. And quite frankly, he probably knows things I don't know about this. And I start to remind myself of the truth of what I know.
A really healthy exercise.
And then all of a sudden it's like I calm down and I go, okay, I can do that. I can submit to that thought or that direction because of the truth of God's word and godly principles rather than my own agenda.
So for the person
I know that's kind of a dramatic example, but I think that's kind of the stuff we have to get through.
But that's real though.
Yeah, that's a real life example. But for the person who's sitting underneath the emotion of it and can't get, like, how do they, okay, I'm going to go for this walk, Brandon. I'm frustrated at my spouse, or something like that. How do I get past the emotion to even begin to do what it is you're saying?
I guess I'm comfortable sitting in it. I'm comfortable approaching it. I think
do you admit the emotion?
Yes.
Okay.
He's also like a 4 on the Enneagram, so he's sitting in emotion is like what he loves to do.
Well, but I don't say that for me. I don't say that's the end result. Like the other day, a different situation happened, and I was able to identify that I was disappointed.
Excellent.
I'm disappointed right now. I'm disappointed that X, Y, and Z happened. But once I feel like you identify it, that's when I can start to ask myself, okay, how am I going to deal with disappointment right now? Am I going to let it rock me, or am I going to, what handle do I need to find? I did this when my dad, got diagnosed with cancer. I just asked myself, okay, I'm really frustrated that I'm sad. This is how it's going to end. He was a godly man. He didn't. This is my human. This is not God. This is me. This is Brandon. He did not deserve to die.
Yeah.
He did not deserve to be sick.
Wow.
But I had to just ask myself questions about the sovereignty of God, and do I trust God?
Wow.
That He's able to use it. And so for me, if I can identify thought in there, how am I actually feeling about this? I can then either find the answer that I know in God's word or seek counsel. Talk to our counselor or talk to my pastor or talk to a mentor. And typically one of those sources is going to have the pathway to truth, right?
Yeah, love it.
I do feel like there's something about walking that like produces like, I don't know if it's not clarity of mind, but it's like it gives you the opportunity to not sit in something. So, you have to identify what is you're feeling, but then you get the choice to not sit in it, not stay in it, because you're like actively moving. So you're like, you're moving through it.
Yes.
Physically and emotionally maybe.
Yeah, and I think, Brandon, when you mention like, hey, what's the real emotion going on here? I think for me, that's the process that's the most helpful, because where I feel frustration is when I can't identify the right emotion.
Totally.
And it was Tim and Ruth, I mentioned them early on in our marriage, that helped us learn how to play the game. What's the real emotion? Because I had the emotional IQ of a brick, basically, when I got married. And my wife would be like, I'm not emotionally connected, and he's emotionally, and she was completely right, but I was so unaware of it. It's like trying to describe blue to a blind person. It's like, I don't know what I don't
Never
know.
heard somebody say that.
And because feeling's bad, so I'm just gonna stay away, or I'm gonna feel frustrated but wait, now what's the right emotion here?
Yeah.
And my wife helped me go back to some of those, like, wait, now you're not angry.
Right.
What's really going on here?
Well, and that's, I think it's important to note that is something that's a learned behavior. You're not going to go for a walk and be able to potentially just because I'm walking, I'm going to be able to figure out what my emotion is. Like, you may need to speak with a counselor about it. You may need to have somebody who's kind of walked that path before, talk to you about that, because I feel like identifying an emotion that maybe you don't even know what the emotion, like if you haven't identified emotions before, you don't know what they are, right?
Let's go another direction on this too. There's also a time when you're walking to celebrate and remember the good things God has done. I think one of the most helpful things I find myself doing is celebrating. Like where did we win this week?
That's good.
Or some of my more memorable walks that I can remember. I can particularly remember, for some reason, I ended up in LA, which is one of my favorite places on the beach. I love it.
I was wondering what parts of LA you were walking in.
It was, not actual LA, not there. But it was like days after our first leading second camp we all did in Austin. And I spent the whole time just, thank you, God.
Yeah.
Thank you, because that was a dream realized.
Beautiful.
And if we don't stop and just drink it in, and it's not self-serving, it's just, man, God, you were so good to have done that for us.
Yeah.
And you brought something we wanted to do for a really long time to life. And then what I'll often do, I've heard it said, everybody needs if you're a man, groomsman, or a woman, your bridesmaids, everyone needs the people that'll gather around you to celebrate on your big day.
Yep.
Like everyone needs party people.
Yep.
Who is the someone you want to call when you just want to brag?
To share your celebration.
Just like, honestly, I won today and I just got to tell somebody.
And it's honestly so important to have that person.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like someone that'll go, I am so happy for you, with no ounce of jealousy, no ounce of, like, I wonder who that person is for everybody listening. And I don't know that I've always had that, but just because when you have a win and you're experiencing that sheer joy, sometimes that's a moment you want to call someone and just be able to have them share it with you, genuinely jump up and down and celebrate the goodness of God. So I think there's also an important factor there. We're getting a little emo, but how about just joy and remembering? I guess that's a good word. Remembering.
The Psalms are filled with remember the faithfulness of God. Remember what He did. Remember how He brought you through the Red Sea. And I think there's something powerful in what you're saying, Brandon. It's like, man, sometimes sitting there thinking about getting caught up in what don't you have, it's like, wait, no, actually, let me take stock of what God has done.
Yeah.
But Lindsay and I, we were talking earlier, this idea of learning how to celebrate the small.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we think it's just got to be the big things.
Right, not till I finish, 30 days of finishing 10 things every day, or, like the big things.
Yeah, but to celebrate the small things, because if we don't celebrate the small, nobody ever will.
That's great.
Nobody else can celebrate that.
Right.
Because nobody else sees it, and it feels so insignificant.
You also don't get to the big without completing the small again and again and again.
Yes.
You have to keep up with the small things over and over.
Well, Lindsay, for you, you're just getting into the walking routine. What was the hardest part about establishing a walking routine? Practically, what did that look like for you?
Well, I think I have every excuse in the book not to do it. So, too busy, gotta clean, have the kids, have to figure out when, I don't want to. I mean, those are just the tip top excuses. I could go deeper. I am very good at coming up with an excuse. So, to overcome all of the excuses and go, so okay, here's an example. I dropped Glow off at school on Friday. And so I dropped her off at school. Zane's doing online school at home. So I literally have no reason. It's a beautiful day. It's 75 in Seattle. It's gorgeous. We live along the water. It's going to be a great day. I had to drive home from school to go for that walk because I wasn't dressed yet. I need to go get my tennis shoes and things. And I thought the whole way home, I was like, well, I could go do those returns to Target that I need to do. I could go eat breakfast alone, which honestly would have been a great use of my time as well, because it would have been alone time. And yeah, I could have, maybe done a Bible study or it's not that it wouldn't have been worthy time, but I committed to myself that I was going to walk, and that was the time when I needed to do it. And it was like the whole way home, it was like I would drive past a coffee shop and be like, oh, I love going to Olympia. I could go get a coffee. And then it was like, I haven't gotten the breakfast at Mandy's that I want to get in the last couple of weeks. Like, maybe I could go have breakfast by myself. Oh, there's Target. Literally, I had to keep driving myself.
But you didn't do it.
And drive past all these distractions and be like, no, you're going home to walk.
Stephen Pressfield in The War of Art calls that overcoming resistance. He says in his context, creative, but any creative person, or you could say productive person, the number one enemy you face is resistance. Overcoming resistance.
Well, and it's like resistance in my mind, it's not even like physical resistance, it's like mental resistance.
And that's the harder one.
Yeah.
It's so hard because you could talk yourself out of it, and nobody even knows you're doing it.
No, no one will ever know.
No one would ever know.
But you did it.
But I did it, and I did go for a walk, and I was really proud of myself. And, I think, and now I'm 1 week down, which, I was kind of like, oh, okay. And then you got in the car, and you're like, that's amazing. And I'm like, yeah, that is amazing.
That's huge.
I did it. I overcame myself for a whole week, which
I overcame myself.
There you go.
That needs to be on a t-shirt.
I overcame myself for 7 days, and that's a big deal,
And how did you celebrate it?
By starting a podcast.
That's awesome.
So this is your all or nothing.
I know. I was like, man, I really do all or nothing everything, but I think that at the base heart of it, this is just an outworking of something that's in our heart of, we can't sit and take a walk with every single person, but we want to be in your life. We want to walk with you. We want to be a part of what's going on and hopefully pour into you a little something and just share, I guess, a different side of our life, where we're at, what we're doing.
Who would you hope, Lindsay, would listen to this? When you're out walking and you're thinking about the people who might engage with this or might interact with it, who are you thinking of? Who comes to mind there?
I think, there's a person that's always on my mind, and that is this is going to be a little niche, but I have to at least mention them first because they're always on my mind, but it's the spouse of maybe someone who's full-time, executive.
That's not niche.
Leader.
That's like half the people.
Well,
that's huge market.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is I'm not even sure if they're listening yet.
Oh, they're listening. They are.
So I'm hoping that they are, because I think what I would want to say is that, everything that I kind of view everything that Brandon does like something that I did as well. So when he wins,
It is.
But not everybody. Again, that's rare.
Right.
There's a lot of spouses that are like, that's what he does.
Right. I have never viewed it that way. I think because I don't know. We're a unit, so we win together, we die together.
You have ownership, and I think you can feel left behind.
Oh, definitely. Well, and I think that's one of the things that through this, I'll probably do some solo walks and talk about that a little bit too, of just managing being maybe like the spouse that's not in the office all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would have a lot to say to both spouses on both sides of that conversation, you know.
I'm also, Larry, thinking of the person that feels alone, like they're the only one that deals with their challenge. Yeah. And I think it's easy to look at people who in ministry who produce resources or lead. I mean, we have a podcast, and so I don't know what you think of us. You might think we've got everything together because we have a podcast. And, you know, I know the people that I look at. I got two now, my goodness. And, you know, I think of people that I admire in ministry, and it's so easy to just see the highlight reel and just think they've got it all together. Maybe we can start to just pull back the curtain a little bit and just say our struggles are really universal. I think that's the number one thing that's impacted me 13 years of coaching is here's the secret. Yep. Everyone has the same problems.
Yes.
It is
no temptation to seize you except what's common demand.
And common demand. It is so, you are so normal if you're facing what you're facing. Yeah. And maybe we could just debunk a little bit of that, talk about a little bit of that. Maybe if everybody felt a little more normal, maybe when we all get together at the conferences, we wouldn't put on the mask and try to act like we got it all together. Maybe we could let some appropriate people into those spaces and actually walk.
And what would it look like at next camp to see some spouses come along?
Oh, incredible.
That would be like such a desire of mine. Because, I mean, it is a team sport. You know, I mean, it is something that we do together, whether we drive into the office together or not.
Yeah, but how beautiful would that be at next camp to see time with spouses to say, let's go for a walk together?
Yeah.
I think you need to start a walking club in camp.
Let's do it.
I think that would be pretty epic. But
it's going to be cold in Canada.
Because both of you described kind of similar, in overlap, the lonely person, you said, Brandon. Yeah. And then, you know, Lindsay, the spouse that feels like they're kind of left behind. There's a lot of overlap in that loneliness, like I'm the only one.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's one thing if I really am alone. It's a whole other thing if I feel like I'm left out.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And I think feeling left out could be, you know, it could be an impression that you have because of something that happened. And it also could be just because of lack of communication, which is, I think, one of the biggest problems, but almost one of the easiest to fix in terms of, you know, if you start talking, if you start communicating, like all those questions can kind of fade away a little bit. You know, I think that feeling left out or left behind, I mean, I probably speak up more than some maybe, but I'll say like, hey, this is what I need. I need to know what's going on in the office because I'm not there, you know?
Did you always have that or did you need to learn that?
I think you always had that.
Well, I think what happened is we have always worked together. So we were on staff together before we were married, and then we got married, and then we were like, we've kind of always been on staff together. So when, you know, he was let go and I was going into the church and he was, you know, starting a new ministry at home, it was like, that was kind of the first time that we realized like, okay, we are going to have to fill each other in on our days.
Okay.
On what's going on. And I think there's a difference between, you know, fill each other in and then like dumping, right? Yeah. So I think, you know, dumping
that'll be a whole episode.
Dumping creates animosity or, you know, like he doesn't dump on me so that I are taking other people's offense, you know, in a situation that I'm not in, but he'll communicate to me things that are happening. Yeah. Bring me into key decisions, you know, that kind of thing.
But you kind of had that tendency.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, I'm going to lean forward and say, hey, I need these things.
Yeah, well, when we got married, we're a team. And the two of us being a team means that like we win together, we die together, right? So if I need to know, like, are we winning right now?
Okay.
Or are we not winning right now?
Yeah.
And where can I help?
Yeah. I think the last thing I would think of when I think of this space is I think I would hope that people know that God is walking with them.
Yeah, that's good.
That he is with them, that he is, very present help in time of need. And, let's be honest, we're all a little older now, even than when we first met. But what I'm loving about ministry in our mid-40s is now I'm starting to get some moments where we can look back and see God really walked with us in that time. And I think that younger people in ministry need to hear it.
Yes,
and they need to hear about it because you can't see it when you're in your mid-20s.
Sure.
You can't see always the fingerprints of God. And we still got a lot of laying ahead of us, but we've got enough behind us where we can start to see, what, now I know why I went through that. I preached about that this morning. I talked on the subject of being faithful under pressure. And I said to the congregation, I said, if I could take your pain from you today, I would. It would be my joy to step in and try to rescue, but I can't. We can't fast forward those moments. No. But what I can pray is that there will come a day when you will see the faithfulness of God and you will know this is why he allowed that into my life, into that season.
Yeah, you only see that in the rearview mirror though, don't you?
Oh,
you only see that looking back.
Totally.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally. So, maybe we can do a little bit of rearview mirror. We're not old, but we're kind of old. I don't know.
You got some miles.
We got a few miles.
We got a lot left on the tires, but
Hopefully.
Rotation.
Hopefully,
But I've been living a ton in studying Genesis. I'm taking a lot of our staff at Elevation through that. And, God looked at his creation and says, the first thing that wasn't good was the man was alone.
Right.
And the archetype speaks of the husband-wife marriage.
Right.
But it sets in motion the body of Christ.
That's right.
And so what was accomplished with Adam and Eve there set and laid a foundation for what the church is meant to be.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's something about being in community that we're created for, and it's not good to not be in it.
Yeah, that's good. I think the last thing I'll say is just along those lines. I think a lot of times I am looking for someone to talk to. And what I've realized is this, like, sometimes it's almost like looking to someone to commiserate with instead of actually walk with me. And that's why, like, when you said, that they would know that God is with them, I think we have to remember that we are not alone and that our first response needs to be like, God, like, show me your presence, be with me, show me your presence, walk with me, ask God to be with you right where you're at, because I think sometimes we can almost look on the natural and forget. Right. And I feel like, we're in the business of church, right? It's like, how can we forget? Maybe it's just me, but sometimes I forget, like, hey, maybe bring God into this, like ask him, how you should feel, or ask him where you're missing, or honestly, like, when I've been the most lonely, I think the comfort of the Holy Spirit has been the thing that has got me through that. So, I think that would be a big desire of mine.
Very good.
That you would feel and know that.
Very good.
And when we started, I asked you, like, hey, when I asked you about, like, getting started walking.
Yeah.
I said, why that one? Because I felt like the movement piece. And just the image came to mind when you're talking about commiserating and those things. It's one thing for someone to sit in the misery with you. It's a whole other thing to have somebody move out of it with you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that imagery of, like, you've been sitting in it for too long.
Yeah. Yep.
Metaphorically, you've been just sitting in it.
Yep.
So it's time to get up and get moving and go on a walk, but you can't walk by yourself. You need someone to walk with you.
Yep.
That's right.
Absolutely. And that's why we're here.
All right. Well, maybe you can figure out how to sign us off this, boss. But before we get absolutely rained on here, I'm pretty sure it's moments away from happening as we're talking. but this has been fun.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do this more.
I think we should.
So now I'm really interested because now I get to go and like speak my mind. You said I could do solo episodes.
You can. You can, absolutely. Welcome to my podcast.
This is the Leading Second Walk with Me
podcast.
Is that what we're calling it? Walk with me?
Let's do it. Walk with me.
Okay. We love you guys.
Love you guys.